WeAreArcade.com presents the Anime UK podcast with the SSRS.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りいたします。
You're listening to the Anime UK show presented by Alex, Aisha, Oren and Harriet.
Featuring news, reviews and discussions from the world of anime, manga, gaming and otaku culture.
Anime UK is brought to you by WeAreArcade.com. You can find us there every Friday.
You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Anime UK Show, as well as subscribing to us on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to rate, comment and keep sending us your lovely questions. Welcome to episode 14 of Anime UK Show. I'm Aisha and I'm with Alex, Harriet and Oren, and we'll be having a special guest, Garen from Uprise Digital, but that will be later on. Let's get on with all the animes we've been watching. So, guys, we had a look at Turning Girls. How did you guys feel about that?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, I will hand it out here now. I wanted to punch the girl in green.
Oh god, yes. Yes.
Everybody hates her.
Everybody hates her. Yeah.
I loved her. She was great.
Well, she was the main aspect of the show, I guess.
I think, yeah.
Of the first episode, yeah. I just love idols. I love idols where usually people hate them, because she was like 28, I think, and still she's like a self-proclaimed idol as well, which was the best. It's like people say, oh yeah, no, I'm a professional artist. It's like, yeah, but you haven't sold their artwork's really bad or whatever. It's great. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, she had a lot of confidence, and she was like, can't miss eyes, and then she literally comes out of the toilet and everyone's gone. Yeah, that was sad. It's literally a 5-minute show about this lady, and the whole episode is where she's sitting in a restaurant with a group of people, and she just won't give them a minute to talk, and she's like invading everything. And there seems to be like a love thing going on the end between two people, and then she's like jumping into the photos.
Oh god.
I think it's meant to be like a dating party.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she interrupted them. And
Yeah,
like two of her friends even said, who invited her? And they realised it was one of the quieter girls, and they think,
The ditzy one on the end.
Photos, yeah.
Did you guys watch the second episode of it?
I did, yes.
Nice.
I mentioned on, and I just thought, I actually enjoyed the second episode regarding the woman just creating yaoi situations out of everything. Even
Yes.
a cup of hot water and cold water,
Yes.
which was very amusing and very disturbing at the same time.
It was so perfect. There was like one line where it's like, oh, we're all gonna be turned up like room temperature anyway, so let your burning chin melt me, or something like that. It was just a cup of ice water and a cup of boiling hot water.
And she made a story out of it as well.
Yeah.
Oh god.
And she made a story out of 2 Japanese like letters as well.
Yes.
From her, on her business
proposal.
Yeah. It was just great. And
Yeah, I think the idea of the show is, I think the girls don't want to grow up, or something like that. I think it's that. Obviously, turning points. Yeah, there's only 2 episodes out at the moment, but I'm intrigued to watch the rest, because obviously they'll probably go across each of the characters. I'd love to see the girl in blue, the one who likes the music.
yeah.
Oh, the one at the first
See what
one.
her story
the
is.
cross.
Yeah.
She was awesome. I have a feeling by her ringtone, I have a feeling she's going to end up as one of those weird kind of, I love all these type of anime, a live action series or something. She had like a really awesome rock ringtone, which I want to steal. Find out what that is.
Oh, just to say as well, the animation was different as well. How they weren't, couple had different colours representing them. Like, for example, the annoying girl was green, perhaps to show that she was, maybe stuck out, or she was confident, I'm not quite sure. And then you had the blue girl who's a bit more quieter and subdued. How did you guys feel about this whole animation style?
Yeah. Even though it wasn't, like, most of it was, like, just pictures, they sometimes, like, moved them about a bit. It wasn't actually like animated how we usually tend to see it. It was like a bit more like an animatic, I guess.
Oh yeah, because they weren't moving fully as well, weren't
yeah.
they?
The still frames, yeah. Which I didn't mind at all, because how the story, like, I don't think it really needed all that animation. The story and the dialogue is just really, really funny and upbeat. And yeah, it could have been like, oh, if they animated it, whatever, but it felt like, it didn't need to be at all. It was just with the visual pictures of what the characters look like and their expressions and the voice acting on top. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
I really, really dig it a lot. I really want there to be more episodes.
I do as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping there'll be slightly longer episodes as well.
Slightly more crazy characters.
So good.
So if we move on, second one we looked at, see the Money of Soul and Possibility. This one was, I don't know, I had mixed feelings about this. How did everyone else feel?
It gets better later on.
Actually, wait. Someone explain it first. Alex?
Me? Oh, best way to well, yes, I'll explain it. You start out with a guy and they show you, that there's mysterious credit cards. Best way to explain it. These cards, that, you can have how much, you can get money, you can get unlimited money as much as you want, but you have to fight for it. So, you put the card in the machine, if you haven't got enough money, they'll say, do you want to have a fight? Yes. Who do you want to fight with? And you can choose anyone else who's got one of these cards. And during this fight, you literally fight with money. It's just like a huge, ridiculous fight with whoever's got the most money is more likely to win. But, people who haven't got much money try anyway, because there's a chance they can beat them and get loads of money in return. And, each person has a little monster. Or a little creature, I think it was, depending on the card or what they've got. And what was the best way? Trying to explain it away. Does anyone else want to join in and join, just in case I've got it wrong? But,
No, you're
yeah.
right so far. Yeah, it's, the main guy.
There's a lot in it. It's just trying to remember all of it.
Yeah, the main guy, he wants to kind of, knuckle down and study hard to become a social, like a civil servant. And, you know, earn money and whatnot. But I think he's one of these people, he's tight on money. So, like, if his friends want to go out in the evening, he'll be like, no, I've got to work, I've got to earn money. And, at the beginning you see, like, this guy, he's trying to get money, and then obviously he gets into the fight with, I could probably see he's a antagonist, probably a protagonist, I don't know, the enemy of
The guy with the little goatee.
yeah, that's the one. And obviously, the guy didn't win. I won't say what happened to the man who you see at the beginning, but the main character, what's his name? Kimimaru, he's approached by this, I could only describe as a Mad Hatter kind of guy called,
He's so creepy.
I know, yeah. Masakaki, who approaches him and says, right, you can have access to all this money in the world. I just want you to join. And, you know, he doesn't want to do it. Next day he finds, I think, 500,000 yen in his account. And people tell him, oh, just spend the money, it won't be noticed, whatnot. So he takes out, I think, 10,000 Masakaki comes out and says, oh, so the greed did get the better of you in the end. So here's the card, and all you have to do is just battle. And the episode ends where I think they go off into the other world.
Yeah, because the next episode they introduce, the little character who you see in the opening, the girl with the red horns.
The fairy kind of girl.
Yeah, because, as I said, each card has a monster with it, and if you have more money, you have more monsters, and you can have better chance of winning a fight.
So is this a mixture of Monopoly and Devil's...
Monopoly and Pokemon. Pretty much.
I'm just thinking of it now.
Yeah, it gets automatic
Monopoly
later on,
and
doesn't
Digimon.
it?
Sorry. But yeah, because all the creatures, because you're betting money, as you know, if you lose all your money, there's a lot of consequences of that. But, the creatures are fun because you can have anything from like a giant to little demon lolly girl or whatever. And it's like really odd because it's just fighting. Yeah, she said Monopoly. Fight over money with Digimon.
Did any of you watch, sorry. I was gonna say, did any of you read, Bakuman at all?
I've read the first book.
Because I actually thought that story was based off one of the first mangas they wrote. One of the main characters, one of the first mangas they wrote, which was about money and intelligence. I actually thought it was about that, but then as I was watching, I was like, wait a minute, this is different. There's no intelligence involved. It's just about money.
It's just fighting for money. That's all it is.
Yeah. It's bizarre. I probably need to watch a bit more of it. I didn't really get into it that much.
I think later on the story does actually go in like a lot more fun. They explain things a lot better, and
Okay.
you start having more fun fights. But at the start it's a bit slow.
Yeah.
You were literally thrown into the deep end when you first watched it, and you just think, what just happened? And then, yeah, by the end of episode 1, you just think, okay, where is this going? But if you said it's gonna explain more, so then that's good, because I kind of left at the end of the episode thinking, I really have no idea. I do, but I don't at the same time.
Well, later on it gets a lot more like backstabbing, and there's a lot more characters introduced. And they explain like all the reasons why everyone's in it for it. Like the guy you saw at the start, with the long hair and the little goatee, and you see more of the little horned girl that's with him.
The one that eats the money.
Yeah, she eats money, and she's his little sidekick, which turns up now and again. And they explain more as to the real reasons why the main character really wanted the money, and why some of the people in the actual fights are so backstabbing and are so desperate for it. Oh, but it's a lot more fun to watch later on. It's been a while since I've watched it. Watching it again, I just remembered I actually liked it a lot because of the monster designs and the ridiculous like money world the financial district is.
Did anyone find the Back to the Future reference?
Yes. Even though I was slightly more distracted by the fact that the creepy one, the Mad Hatter one.
Yeah.
I watched the series before I watched this, and it's the same voice guy.
Oh no.
And he always does creepy characters, or just slightly weird characters.
Oh, I watched the dub rather than.
Well, I watched the Japanese, and it was brilliant because he plays one of my favourite characters, and he always does a really good creepy character. It's brilliant.
We love creepy characters.
Yes.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of that anime show we watched a few episodes ago. The one about the phone app where it shows you a picture of you dying.
Yeah, Devil Survivor.
Yeah, it just reminded me a bit of that because 1 minute everything's normal and then suddenly it's all gone to hell and you're in a different area, world, and you have to fight for survival and, well for money. And,
yeah, it's Devil Survivor.
And what was it? Deals, that's it.
That's it. It's Devil Survivor times Monopoly.
Yeah. Completely. Demons everywhere and the nice hats. Brilliant. So this week, we will be talking to our guest, Garan Evans, the director of Rice Digital. Hey, Garan.
Hello.
So I had the pleasure of meeting Garan at MCM Expo this May. Basically, Rice Digital is bringing indie Doujin games from Japan. And Garan, if you just explain to the listeners what Rice Digital is about, or if anything, if you could begin by explaining what Doujin is.
Okay. Well, Doujin, in terms of the sort of literal translation, means like minds, effectively. So you have a sort of situation in Japan where a very small group of people will get together similar to the indie scene, how the indie scene used to be, in the West maybe 5 years ago, and they work together on a game. So they're basically Japanese indie games is the sort of more loose translation. And that can apply to anime or manga, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm sort of more interested in the game side. And in terms of how it came about, towards the end of last year, maybe in the start of December, I started hearing from some of my friends about these really obscure Japanese games that I'd never heard of before, and the more I kind of investigated them, the more I realised they were quite hard to find. And eventually, as I started to track them down and started playing more and more and more of them, I realised that actually there's a huge kind of body of Japanese indie games out there, which were excellent, but they weren't really getting much attention from the Western press, and they certainly weren't sort of being sold particularly actively, and people just didn't really know about them at all. So I wanted to kind of address that, and one of the more sort of surprising things was I'd always sort of considered Doujin games to be either adult focused or dating sims. There's a sort of the usual sort of thing that you'd associate with the word Doujin, but actually there were loads of games out there which didn't have adult content in, and the quality of which was actually quite surprising, just how good they were. So I basically wanted to have a portal where people could find them really easily, buy them quite cheaply, and also like a really sort of good, safe place where people could read about them without fear of finding surprising adult content on there.
It's amazing as well. For a company that's only been around for 6 months, you've got a huge back catalogue. Did you approach all these game designers, or did they come, to you?
Yeah, it's when I first started looking for Doujin games, there are a sort of very small group of companies who do some localization work. So when I first started looking, the first company I came across was a company called New Media, and they've released a fair few Doujin games and localized a fair few Doujin games as well. And when I sort of had an initial conversation with those guys, I wanted to kind of help them promote their games. So when we launched exclusively with New Media's titles. And that was about 6 or 7 games in total that we had from them for launch. And then off the back of that, I then got in contact with another company called Rocket Android. We've got maybe 4 of their games, and a Fruitbat Factory who do 99 Spirits. They just got in contact with me, and then slowly but surely I've come in contact with more and more companies and developers who want to bring their games over but are unsure as to how to go about it, or a little bit kind of nervous about whether they need to localize. Most of the games that we have are localized, with the exception of maybe Yatagarasu, which is part localized, so all the menus and things have been changed to make it easier to navigate. So initially, it was New Media's titles, but off the back of that, more and more people have kind of come to us and said, please, can you take a look at our games, and could you see whether or not it's possible to bring them over? And that's what we've been doing for the last 6 months. So yeah, we've got maybe, I don't know, about 25 games, I think, in total, which has been a brilliant start for us.
That's great. You guys are becoming the Doujin gurus of the UK. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of these cute Doujins without thinking fan service or, ecchi hentai.
Yeah. That's exactly what I kind of want to get across. And even now, when I speak to journalists about covering a lot of the games that we're releasing, they immediately go, "Oh, isn't it going to be full of adult content?" And I think that's a real sort of stigma that's kind of been attached to it over the last 6 or 7 years, and that's something that I kind of want to dispel, just to kind of get rid of that immediate sort of line of thinking that it's going to be something that's not for them, when actually there's some great content there which is accessible to everybody, not just adults. Okay,
so let's start talking about the games that we've actually tried out from Rise Digital. Alex, what have you been playing?
Exceed Third, the Jade package. I think Oron's also played one of these.
I played the first one, which was the gun. Sorry, let me quickly find it. The title was Gun Bullet Children, and the second one was Exceed the Second and Vampire. And
because I'm terrible with bullet hell games, but I thought I'd play them anyway.
It was really fun. I haven't actually played, I think the closest I played, it's probably a shame, I played Space Invaders, and that's about it. But it's shooting games, and it's not the same level at all.
As me then.
But yeah, no, when I first started playing it, I really enjoyed the music, I liked the characters, the background, the intensity of it was insane.
I think it's the only other bullet hell game I know of is Toho. Was it Toho 2?
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah. So playing this was a lot of fun because there's a practice one on my one. I think, did you have that, the test one?
Yeah.
Where it actually shows you the tiny little pixel bit that takes damage.
Ah.
Because that's the problem with bullet hell games I always had. I always assumed the character size. The character was the one taking damage.
It's usually like a tiny little dot inside the ship is the sort of bit that you need to.
That's why I kept getting murdered, because I kept forgetting that was there. And on the test one, it shows you. Yeah, I was like, oh no, I can really do it.
Yeah, you can even focus so you can actually see how to kind of maneuver through the bullets, which is a nice feature, especially if you're totally new to bullet hell games. And they can be quite intimidating, just because it's kind of hard to figure out how the hell you're supposed to survive.
Yeah, it's just the amount of times I just got murdered while playing it, and then in practice it's like, oh, this is actually quite a lot easier. I just concentrate on that one little space. And I just ended up doing really well for a while. Until I got further in and I was like, yeah, I can't do this. It's just too much on screen. I can't see what I'm doing. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's something new I finally got into.
Yeah.
That's, well, not too hard for me.
Well, no, I didn't even know those games existed until I played it. Like,
Totally. It's just an untapped market that Rice Digital is now, bringing to our attention, thank God. It really is, I can't believe you're like translating the game and everything, and you've done this all in 6 months. That's mind blowing.
Well, we tend to use that. There's quite a few companies that we work with who do a lot of the translation already. So there's companies like New Media, who's the kind of the first launch lineup. So stuff like Aries Action and Fairy Bloom, Cherry Tree High Comedy Club. If any of you played that one, which is really sweet. So a lot of that localization was already done for us. So all we had to do was release it. The main one that we worked on translation-wise was Yatagarasu, which is the 2D fighting game.
Oh yes, I played that one. That was so much fun.
I played that.
I was really clumsy with this one.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just like,
Button
There's it's Yatagarasu has probably been the game that's sort of done the best for us, actually. In fact, it's done so well that the developers are actually going to make a new version. And a couple of days ago, they announced they're going to release Yatagarasu Attack on Cataclysm. And there's an Indiegogo. If you go onto Rice Digital, there's a post about it. They're doing like an Indiegogo crowdfunding project for it. And the amount that they're after is quite low compared to a lot of the other ones, where they're going to add some new characters and add a whole bunch of new features to it. So, sort of by virtue of kind of us doing the kind of part translation, releasing it, and it doing really well for them, they're really keen to kind of get a wider Western audience for it. So they're going to make a sequel to it, effectively, off the back of that, which is brilliant news. And it's kind of what we sort of really wanted to see from us working on these games, is to see more and more people getting excited about them, and it's working so far, which is great.
oh, can I throw in a question? When you pick your characters, you also get to pick, like, I don't know who they are, these human pictures underneath.
Yeah,
Like 3 guys there.
They're famous fighting game players and commentators from Japan.
oh.
But there's a big tournament in Japan called Togeki, and they've got fighting game players from there to kind of commentate on how you're playing. So if you're playing if you're doing repetitive moves all the time, then they'll comment on your play style while you're fighting.
With Yatagarasu, would they be perhaps adding in, unlockable characters?
Yes, they will. They've got on their sort of project page, they've got 8, I think, additional characters that they'd like to do. So depending on what kind of level of funding they get, will determine how many of those characters actually get into the game. So potentially Yatagarasu could end up with, I think, 14 playable characters in total if all the funding goes through.
Oh, I have to mention to the listeners out there, it's like Street Fighter, but with running commentary, and it's just so much fun. So definitely go to Rice Digital and check Yatagarasu and some other games out, please. Another game that we were all quite interested in playing was 99 Spirits.
Woo! I'm addicted to this game. It's really bad.
Yeah, we're RPGs. We love it.
Yeah, it's a really nice kind of strategy RPG fusion. It's got quite a nice sort of central concept, and the art's lovely as well.
Oh, it's just I have already found my problem with games like this is I can't spell. So I'm pretty much stuck in so many places in this game.
Oh, when you're trying to identify the
yeah, it's just there was at some point it was okay, but later on, without giving too much away, there were so many Japanese names that I was sitting there going, how do you spell that in English? Naginata. Yes, Naginata. And it was just like, I was just sitting there for ages going, how do you spell that?
Yeah,
Alex never walks away from a challenge.
No.
A lot of that game is sort of based off traditional Japanese folklore, which is quite a nice touch, I think.
Oh, something that was different for sure.
It is really fun. It's just, I'm just naff. I'm actually stuck on it now because I've run so far ahead. I've realised, I'm at a point now where I should really have levelled up a bit more.
The company that put that together, Fruitbat Factory, who did the main sort of localization work on it, they were maybe the 3rd company that got in touch with us after we launched, and they've got another really nice little game on there called War of the Human Tanks, which is a kind of advanced wars kind of battleships hybrid, which has got this kind of really cute sort of chibi visual novel kind of sections in between it.
I saw the little picture for it, and all the little girls as tanks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a really fun, really fast paced strategy game. So if you like Advance Wars, then it's a good it's a good little kind of riff on that.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to look that one up now. I've got 99 just sitting here now. It's like, yes, I must finish these.
Another one I've been playing since we were talking about light novels. What was it? Fairy Bloom 3CR?
Ah, yes.
I was sitting there thinking, oh, this looks like a bit of fan service, but no, it actually wasn't. It was all action, girl kicking butt. I was a bit, worried at one point if I glitched out because, you can train and you're just sitting there hitting these two monsters continuously and I was like, oh my god, like 15 minutes has gone, they're not dying. Am I like really crap or something? But it's just really just, if you just want some stress relief, you just play this game and batter the hell out of all these slimes.
It's a really nice looking game that, and that's from a company called Edelweiss who do Ether Vapor Remaster, which is on the store as well. And Fairy Bloom is like a really good sort of single player Smash Brothers with some kind of
that's it. Yeah, you can use the platforms to jump up and down and attack.
And the more you play, you can unlock new moves. So you can kind of create your own fighting game character to a certain extent. So you can choose what kind of spell moves she has, whether or not you want to sort of put all of your kind of points into speeding her up or making her defense better or making her special moves more powerful. So it's kind of got that quite interesting level of depth. So you can play through it quite a few times and have a very different style of character to use.
Yeah, you can customize it as much as a fighter you are or magic user you are.
I leveled up my character a few times, but I was just trying it in all different areas just to see what the different effects would do, or the different moves. I found that one, even though I'm so big on fighting, I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Oh, it's so cute. You can't not play it because you just have to just stare at it continuously. It's so nice and there's so much like story going on.
It's really pretty as well. I think it's one of all the Doujin games that I've seen, it's one of the more attractive ones, I think.
But speaking of attractiveness, I did quite like the Cherry Tree Comedy Club. And
oh, that's lovely.
That game is so pretty. Oh, come on guys. Please tell me you gave in to the prettiness and you played.
I didn't get to play it.
I didn't get to play that one.
Play it either.
Oh, all disappoint
It's one of my favourites, I think. It's I'm a really big fan of like 2D sprite artwork. And there's something really sweet and really charming about it. And the localization's quite nice as well.
And literally, the point of the whole game is a young lady needs to get 5 members to join her comedy club, and it's literally a walk left and right, enter a room, talk to people kind of thing, and you're on like a 2D flat world, and it's just it just reminisces of all the old games like Sailor Moon 2D platform games. It was just so nice, and it's just easy. You don't have to like stress yourself out doing things because you literally have a few options, and after doing all of them, you can figure it out. There's no way of losing, well, unless you waste time.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of like the kind of social elements you get in Persona 4. And if you played Persona 4 Golden or Persona 4,
yes.
It's the sort of you speak to people and you can kind of level up sort of various aspects of yourself.
Oh yeah, the social aspect.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the social aspect of Persona 4, but without the dungeon bits in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the more you talk to people, the more you earn points for chatting and things like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So it's kind of a similar sort of you kind of like you're leveling up just by interacting with the other characters and the other sort of elements in the game, basically. So it's quite a nice concept.
And go for it.
And it's quite unusual, and I can't really think of. I think the closest thing that I can think of that it's like is a cross between that social element from Persona 4 and kind of the old sort of 2D point and click adventures.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I wish it worked.
It would be really good for a handheld as well. So Garen, if you ever decide to change platforms, yep, definitely that's what a good title.
I'll let them know.
And what about you, Harriet? What games have you played?
Well, I played Yasugarasu, and then I played Flying Red Barrel, which
Yeah, I like that as well.
I really like that. It's so good. And Saguri.
Okay, do you want to talk a bit about Flying Red Barrel?
Well, it's just your average. I'm trying to. I can't think now because you know the
Not
cute.
so average.
No, I have to say, I like the aspect of the pilots talking to each other.
Yeah, that's really cute. I'm trying to remember now. I'm more. Do you know what? I'm so mesmerised by just trying to remember in regards to. I'm babbling now. I probably could talk more about Saguri more than
Okay, well, Flying Red Barrel is basically one of those aeroplane games where you just shoot the other ships. That's pretty much, you mostly find the space variations, but this one's a bit more about your pilot. She's flying and she meets other pilots and she's still like, shooting, and it's just like a cute aspect. Visually lovely.
And it's different from your. Oh, sorry, we'll talk at once. It's different from your usual shooting games anyway. It's just not. It's not intense. It's more.
I guess it's a plot.
Yeah.
And it's much more. It's kind of a less serious, more cute, kind of more sort of easygoing shooter than like the Exceed games, for example, which are really hardcore, very serious, very difficult to play. Whereas Flying Red Barrel is just a little bit more, a little bit more easygoing and just a little bit cuter and less intimidating, I think, than the other bullet hell games.
Cool, and Harriet, do you want to talk about the other one?
Saguri is it kind of reminded me of Nanaha on the PSP. It's kind of like a beat 'em up but shoot 'em up at the same time.
It's just one where you play like a little grey-haired girl that goes up and down on the screen on the left. Yeah.
It is literally that. So it's kind of strategy in regards to how you battle. So do you battle or do you shoot them and kind of maneuver your way around that? And I quite like that actually. It's different from. It's good to have that mix, actually, that you have to think about what you have to do next in regards to, instead of that, shooting, I'll hit them and stuff like that. So I quite enjoyed that, actually. That's my favourite of the three.
Yeah, it plays like, it's like, Street Fighter is probably not a good example, but it is like a one-on-one fighter, so you have to kind of defeat the other person. So in that sense it is, but rather than kicking and punching them, you're flying around and shooting them with the same kind of weapons that the enemies would use against you in a standard shooting game, which is a really odd mix, but it works really, really well.
It does. It really does. Yeah.
It's just something different. Like all these games, they're all really different in their little fun way.
I know, it's a real mix of the ones that I played like a fighting and then the cutesy and then the mix. It's kind of, I just love these games. They're brilliant.
Oran, have you played any more of the RS Digital games?
I played mostly the bullet hell games, so it's all the Exceed, like Vampire and the Gun, Bullet Children. I was obsessed with those. I spent at least maybe 4 hours while Skyping yesterday just playing through them. They're really addictive and the music's really great and it's so much energy and I just didn't want to put it down, but I had to go to work tomorrow, today. So I had to stop at some point. But yeah, no, seriously, really, really, really great to play. I want to start playing all the other ones as soon as possible. I was just busy with work this week, but yeah, I'm excited. I didn't know there were these kind of games, and now I do. I was one of the people who did think a lot of Doujin games used to be like all the love sims and all that kind of stuff. So
the hentai, yeah.
Well, not even hentai. I just thought they were all like dating sims, a lot of them. But no, I'm really glad that I've learned that that's not right at all, and that there's like all these other games that I can play. It's really cute as well. It's unless to say how cute they are. Yeah, bullet hell. I've learned that I love this style, the genre, a lot.
You're going to be buying lots of them now.
Yes, look around everywhere for them. Hopefully, I can get some for my PSP as well, hopefully.
I think there is one somewhere. There's some for PS2, I remember.
Oh, amazing. And great thing I also realised with most of these games, I can use my controller, because I don't particularly like using my mouse and keyboard, and I was very happy to find there's controller compatibility with them.
Oh, yeah, very important, listeners. If you are going to play these games, they do have instruction manuals, so if you're not sure what you're doing, because I'm not a big PC fan, so for me, I was like, I have no idea. What do I do?
I learned always press Z, X or spacebar.
I think a lot of them will work quite well. If you've got an Xbox 360 controller, a lot of them are configured to work with those as well.
Yeah, I have one. It's great.
Perfect.
It's fun.
Excellent. Okay, and we'll move on to questions now, because we had a few special questions for about the Rice Digital games in general, and we had quite a lot of people going on about Ares Action, as how I got to know Rice Digital was meeting Geraint at MCM, and basically the challenge was if you completed one level of Ares Action, you would win every game on the back catalogue. And I had one person, I think a little bit disgruntled, he submitted, has anyone actually ever finished Ares Action? And that was submitted by Eurosum. What do you have to say about that, Geraint?
Yeah, somebody at MCM did actually finish it. There was, well, after you kind of ran a competition and that sort of finished on one of the days, somebody came over and basically sat there pretty much through most of Sunday and just carried on playing it, and he did actually get through the whole thing.
The whole game?
Yeah. Which I've never managed to do. So that was quite impressive. But he had quite a few sort of friends around him that were kind of cheering him on and sort of giving him advice at various points. So it got quite heated at one point. But he did manage to get through it. So fair play to him.
Oh my. What do you remember his name?
I can't remember his name actually.
Gonna have to hunt
The
him down.
unknown conqueror of Ares
conqueror.
Action. Well done. We salute you. Because even I had a go at the game and I was like, oh, it's cute, but it's evil. No, I can't play
Yeah,
it.
it is very vindictive, but it's very clever and quite funny with it as well. So it kind of stops being frustrating because it's got a sort of, it knows that it's trolling you basically
Yes.
while you're playing.
That's the perfect word. It's complete troll. Another question was, would there be any chance of you adding dating sims to the catalogue? Submitted by a flop.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, one of the sort of types of games that I want the sort of West to really like are visual novels, because it's another one of those genres that people just don't really seem to sort of care much about over here, and I often think that they're missing out on some really, really good content. So with that in mind, we've actually launched our first digital novel today, which is called If My Heart Had Wings, which is an absolutely gorgeous HD visual novel, and it's been localized by a company called Moe Novel. It's their first game.
Ooh.
So it's such a beautiful looking game. It's about a boy and some girls who are kind of charmed by this glider, and they want to set up a kind of a club in their school, and it's kind of the kind of process of them going through that and the kind of relationships they form while doing it. If you take a look on ricedigital.co.uk, it'll probably be the first big thing that you see on there. If you want to try out a new genre and try visual novels for the first time, this is a really good entry, simply because it's quite light, it's a gorgeous looking thing, and there's no adult content in it either, so you'll be safe. So I think if it works well, if people kind of really take to it, and I hope they do with this one, because it is a really sweet story. If people take to it and it does well, then we'll definitely look at doing that in the future. In terms of like adult dating sims, it's not out of the question, but for me, it would need to have a certain
Criteria?
It have more story than anything.
If you look at something like Katawa Shoujo, which is like the free visual novel that was made by some old people from 4chan, which is probably the most famous, and it's actually Western developed rather than a Japanese developed one. But that's a really great visual novel. In terms of quality, it's fantastic. It does have adult scenes in it, but the overall quality of the visual novel sort of makes it okay and makes it worth investigating. And in some ways, the sex scenes in that visual novel kind of detract from the overall quality of the game, if that makes sense. So those scenes don't really need to be in it for it to be a good game. So if I came across something that was similar, that had that same kind of quality of story and quality of dialogue, then I would consider it, yeah.
Brilliant. And we have one last question, and that would be, most of the protagonists of the game so far have been female. Is there any reason for this? That's submitted by Jojo.
I hadn't really thought of that, to be honest with you. No, it's not so much something that we've actively sought out. It's just kind of happened that way, I think.
Coincidence.
Yeah, so when the sort of batch of games from New Media, there's a couple of sort of female protagonists in those, and then as kind of companies have been approaching us and saying, could you take a look at our game and could we release it on Rice Digital? We've obviously taken a look, and the games that we've really liked, we've decided to release. So it's not intentional. It's just coincidence, I guess. We wouldn't single out a game just because the main character was a girl. It wouldn't be something that I would do. So if anybody wants to bring me some games with really strong male characters in it, then I'd be more than happy to release them.
Excellent. Hopefully, we've now opened a new portal for the UK market to investigate these Doujin games on Rice Digital. Lastly, Garant, where can we follow all the, updates of Rice Digital?
You can, if you go to ricedigital.co.uk, that's the main site, and all the information that you'll want is on there. Or you can follow our Rice Digital Twitter, which is Rice Digital, and we're also on Facebook as well. So all the news will kind of go on to there. One thing I will add as well, actually, is we are on the lookout for people to kind of join our community. So Rice Digital has quite a strong editorial side to it and a news side to it. And we're on the lookout for anybody that would like to contribute news stories to us, or kind of join the writing team, basically. So if anybody's listening and sort of fancies trying their hand at writing, no experience is necessary really, do get in touch with me and hopefully we can get you on board.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Now, last week, we were attending a lot of gaming events because there's two really popular games out at the moment that are being hyped out for Street Passes, and we all know it's Monster Hunter Free and Animal Crossing. Harriet attended the Monster Hunter Free event. Do you want to tell us what happened?
Right, okay. It was in Brixton at the Ritzy. I got there, I don't know, about 11:30. You know when you go and you think, there's no one here,
Oh.
no one around, and it was all inside upstairs. It was a bar closed off for the afternoon. Went up there, had to sign in, I went upstairs, and the first thing the guy asked me, he says, "Oh, what Monster Hunter ranking are you?" And I thought, I don't know. Like I said last week, I never played the game properly. I played the demo, but that was it. So he said, right, okay, what we'll do, we'll lend you a copy of the game so you can test it out, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
If you want, and it was, yeah. So I had the whole day just to try it out. And if he said, if you want to take part in the tournament, you can borrow my Wii U, because obviously you had to have a ranking to log in to play. And so instead, I had to go on the Wii U. I will admit, when I tried the game first out, I found it very confusing, but the guys there were really helpful, really friendly, taught me how to do simple stuff, in regards to upgrading weapons, when you get kill the monsters, what you can do with all the stuff you get with it. Even to the point that when we took part in the tournament, one of the guys, his name's Jake, he's from the Monster Hunter Community UK on Facebook. And he literally just stopped the game and said, no, we'll stop this because you need to learn how to do this, and we want to teach you how to do it, which I really appreciated. So they literally just stopped the game, started again, so I could learn how to play it properly.
That's really good.
It was really cool, and I much respect for that. I also met a couple of other people. I met Daniel, who introduced himself to me, and he runs the Nintendo Spot on Twitter.
Oh, cool.
And he was really cool. He was, I think, also part of the Monster Hunter community, and they're on Facebook as well. And I also met a listener. His name is Ahmed, and we chatted for a good while. He told us he liked the show and loves listening to it, and we kind of just traded games for the afternoon. He showed me the new Street Pass games that are out now. So I think I'll be getting them. And so after all the event, there was free food, free drinks, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Just to throw in there, Harriet's taken a bunch of really cool photos on her Facebook page, so please check it out and tag yourselves at Anime UK Show.
Yes. Yeah, I did take a few people of... obviously, that was only a small amount of people. It grew bigger before I left. I think there was around 40 to 50 people by the time I left.
Oh, wow.
So it was pretty well decked out, and everyone obviously because I didn't know, but everyone knew each other. They played multiplayer together, but all in all, I really enjoyed it. I had to leave before it finally finished, but I think the tournament, if you're a Monster Hunter fan, I think the winning time to defeat a monster was 3 minutes and 4 seconds, which was pretty quick. For me, I have no clue, but for
it's like people, 2 hits dead.
Yeah, the whole crowd was like, kind of reaction. And even though I was getting into it, it's like, oh, do it. And I think they gave out all the standees afterwards. I know Ahmed got one, which was really cool because he posted it on his Facebook. The food actually was really clever. They kind of, with pizzas, they named it from monsters of the game. So a turkey pizza was like a certain monster, and the pepperoni was also a monster. Yeah, I think even chips got an unusual name, which was really cool. And the cocktails, non-alcoholic, but lovely. I had a peach one, I think. It was again, I took a photo of it. I forgot the name of it, but it was really nice. But a brilliant day. Community were fantastic, like I said, in regards to teaching me, and I think they're running another Monster Hunter event at the either the end of the month or the beginning of next month. I'm not sure, but I'll give out more details when I get the full details. But all in all, loved it.
Oh, that sounds good. Are you tempted to pick up a copy of the game now?
I already have.
The community did a good job, didn't they?
I bought it, I couldn't get it Sunday, so I bought it, Monday. And because I had the free games for the 3DS promotion, I got Fire Emblem free.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that next week, for sure.
Price of one, but yes, I am now a Monster Hunter convertee. I am still learning, but I'm getting there slowly. Brilliant.
This is why we encourage people to go out to these events, even if you have no knowledge of the game, you're not sure about it. It's great to just try it out, because look, Harriet's now gone from having no idea to actually buying the game and enjoying playing it. So definitely go there, not just for your street passes. Though when I went to the Animal Crossing one, my goodness, the carnage. It was at this venue that I've mentioned before called Mad in Soho, Rupert Street, and people who've been before, you know the layout. It's a bit of an L shape, quite exclusive. It's got its game stations where you can go in, play games, have a posh pastry, milkshake, you know. But the lady who ran it, Penny, she actually got a mention on the Nintendo website, and because of that, they sponsored the whole event. So if you came along, you got a free poster, you got a free drink, whatever you wanted, not alcoholic, but whatever, milkshake, smoothie, Coke, whatever. And basically everyone, just literally everywhere possible you could sit. I was literally sitting on the electric adapters. I don't know how I didn't get fried, but it was the most safest place for me, because in that way I got a view of everything and I could see what was going on. I had a quick word with Penny at the start because it was so busy. She told me, because I came straight at the start, so at 12, around 3 o'clock is when all the tournaments were happening. We were having one for who could catch the biggest fish. I'm sure Harriet would know about that.
Yes, indeed.
I don't actually have a copy of the game, so I just turned up anyway. And just like with Harriet, it was really nice. People were chatting to each other. There were a few people that were in the zone. They were like, you know, tunnel vision, must play Animal Crossing, because we're having a few moments of, okay, the pram needs to move. Do you mind moving? Wait a minute, I'm just doing something. Okay, seriously, move. Street passing, literally within an hour and a half, I had over 70 people, and especially with these new bundle games, Harriet mentioned, it's something like £13.49. You can get 5 games, you get 1 game free, basically. And a lot of the people, they were just sitting there doing that because these new games, they take up a lot of time, and I don't know how you're going to split it up between Animal Crossing, Monster Hunter, and every other title, plus these extra mini games. Have you got it yourself, Harriet?
Not yet, no. I'm very confused as to how to download it, actually.
Oh, You need to update your software first of all. You should
Hold
get
on.
a notification about it. Once
Yep.
you do that, you then get the option when you're in your new world, you can then move about. It's different from what it was before. And then you got rabbits representing each new game. And then once you talk to the rabbit will say to you, oh, okay, you need to purchase this game. And then it will take you straight to the Nintendo shop. And then you do it all through there.
Oh, so you can get the bundle from there.
Yeah, you can. I think you can probably do it online as well. That's not a, everything's internet friendly. Because if you have, obviously you have to have your 3DS registered. So if you have that registered online, you can download it straight online and pay for it and whatever. Really good. Guys, if you find that you're rarely finding street passes, please do go to events. You can meet new friends. You can get free stuff, street passes, do everything. And I actually went to another event a few days ago. What am I talking about? It was Thursday, so it was DS loading, and that was also at MAD as well. And again, another huge turnout, because it's a monthly meet. So if you guys didn't attend yesterday, please do turn up in July, because they have a constant following of people that are turning up. So if you fancy, again, more street passes, want to talk to some people, come down. And it's not just people just sitting on their Game Boys. You can also play the Wii U, the Xbox Live. You've got or your own games as well, of course. Be good to the get drink, enjoy yourself. You can also get game named cocktails, as Harriet was saying about the Monster Hunter event. So yeah, make it a nice social gathering. It's good. It's a really lovely venue as well. And how was the Brixton one?
It was really
It looks huge from your photos.
Yeah, it was
A cinema or something?
cinema. The Ritzy, it's a cinema. So I went in thinking I've never been as many times as I've been to Brixton. I've never been in the Ritzy, but it was upstairs. I think they closed off the screening area for the day, and the bar itself, I think. It was quite big. There was a big area for seating, and there was an area for eating, and there was even an outside area you can go out and have a smoke, or if you just wanted to get some air, which was really good. There were even charging areas as well, which I was really impressed with. So if
that's really considerate.
Your 3DS was running flat, which a lot of them were, they had them in 4 separate areas, including the tournament stage. So if the guys or the guys and the gals DSs were running low, they could just plug them in while they're playing, which I thought was brilliant. The venue, it was really spaced out. You could easily move about, plenty of seats, and really good.
Would it be at the same venue for the next Monster Hunter meetup, or is it not?
I don't think it is. I think, because this one was run by Nintendo, but the next one is going to be run by the Facebook community. I think they do them quite regularly, because I've just joined their group, and I think it's in North London, the next one. Let me just double check. I was invited to it. But
it would be great. Harriet will share it on our page as well, so that our listeners can come down, have a look, and make their own decision as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can convert some more.
That's it. They're really friendly, honestly. They're the nicest bunch of people you could meet.
And it's really important for Monster Hunter to do co-ops. I really encourage it. It's so much fun, and it just helps you with a really irritating boss.
And it helps level up. So if you want to, get more equipment for your sword, or if you want to upgrade it, that's the best thing to do, because once you defeat it, just pillage, get everything, then upgrade everything. It's really good. So yeah, it's multiplayer is really good for that.
Have we swayed you, Alex and Oren?
I need a 3DS first.
Yeah, me too.
Right, so listeners, if you've got any old 3DSs you don't need anymore, we've got 2 people here who are happy to give them a good home.
I have a number of games I need for that. I've been kind of dragged into it by my friends, so I might end up with one soon.
Okay, so we've come to the end of the show. It's been great chatting to our special guest, Rice Digital's Jaron Evans. And please do follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr at Anime UK Show. We love your support, and send us your questions. next week we'll be focusing on summer anime season, where we'll be looking at all the upcoming animes. So do tune in for that, for all the newest animes. So it's bye for the rest of us. Bye!
Bye.
www.wearearcade.com